friends, welcome to my next video session. So here in this session I am going to discuss about the operators and expressions in C language. You know what is an operator? It's a symbol which acts on the operands to produce certain output. For example, suppose in the expression a plus b, plus c is called the operator and a and b are called operands. Okay. So that's why we'll say operators are fundamental to any mathematical computations. See, in C language we classify basically these operators as two categories. Number one, based on the number of operands the operator acts upon, and second one based on the functions. So first case, if we consider based on number of operands, okay, means how many operands are there for that operator, or how many operands that operator is associated with. So based on that we have three types of operators called unary operator, binary operator and ternary operator. So unary operator, as the name itself specifies, it takes only one operand, means operator acts upon a single operand. So that's why it is called unary operator. Say for example minus 5, if you consider here minus is the operator and 5 is the operand. So you can observe here only one operand is there. Even in minus 20 only one operand is there. Okay, so this is called unary minus. Okay, so address operator, if you consider ampersand a, here only ampersand is the operator and a is the only one operand. So that's why such operators which take only one operand are called unary operators. Then second type we have based on the number of operands, binary operator. As the name specifies, binary means 2. So the operator acts on two operands. Say for example plus, then minus, this modulus operator, percentage, slash, star, etc. These are all called binary operators. Say for example a plus b. So a plus b expression, we have plus is the operator, a and b two operands, that's why it is called binary operator. Like that a minus b if you take, or 10 minus 3. So here this minus acts upon two operands, 10 minus 3. 10 and 3 are two operands, that's why this minus is called binary operator. Whereas this minus is called unary operator because this minus acts upon only one operand called 5. So this is what the difference between unary operator and binary operator. Okay. Multiplication, division, so they are all binary operators. And ternary operator. So ternary operator has got three operands, means operator is associated with three operands. That's why it acts on three operands. Say for example, that's why we say this is symbol question mark followed by colon. It is called ternary operator, or we also call it as conditional operator. We will come to know it very shortly. Ternary operator. So why it is called ternary operator? Because it takes three operands. Okay, so say for example here see we have its usage, big assigned value, a greater than b question mark a colon b. Here you can observe here question mark is between b a, colon is between a and b. So this way totally if you consider here this one, we have got three operands. So this question mark followed by colon is called a ternary operator. So its usage is something like this: big assigned value a greater than b question mark a, means if a value is greater than variable b value, then content of a will be copied into big. Means if the condition is true, a greater than b condition is true, content of a is copied into variable big. Suppose if this condition is false, condition what's called content of variable b is copied into big. Okay, so that's what here, that is if a is greater than b, then big assigned value a, else big assigned value b. Means instead of writing this we can simply write like this. So this is what the usage of ternary operator. Okay, so let us discuss it in detail next based on the functions. Okay, so next category of operators will be based on the functions. Means what are the different operators based on the functions are: arithmetic operators, relational operators, logical operators, increment and decrement operators, assignment operators, bitwise operators, conditional operators and special operators. Okay, so let us see one by one. Here arithmetic operators. So what are arithmetic operators? You know, In mathematics we use arithmetic operators. The same operators we call them as arithmetic operators. See, arithmetic operators are used to perform arithmetic operations. So in C language we have plus, minus, star, slash and modulus. These are the 5 arithmetic operators. So plus is nothing but addition, minus is nothing but subtraction, this asterisk, star or asterisk we call, so it is used for multiplication in C language. We don't use into mark, so we use asterisk for multiplication. Then the slash symbol for division, slash symbol we call it as forward slash. So forward slash is for division operation, and percentage symbol is called modulus operator, which is used to calculate the remainder. Okay, so it is called modulus operator. So that's why these 5 are arithmetic operators. You know, addition a plus b or 4 plus 2, like that. Subtraction a minus b, 4 minus 2. Multiplication a star b, 4 star 2. Division a slash b. So a and b are operands and slash is the operator. 1 slash 5, 3 slash 5 means 3 divided by 5. So like that. Modulus a percentage b means a mod b we call. A mod b means when a is divided by b, what is the remainder, that will be returned. 1 divided by 5, what is the remainder? 1 is the remainder. So that will be the result of this expression. 5 divided by 2, when you divide 5 by 2, what is the remainder? 1 is the remainder. So this is how we use arithmetic operators in C language. So next we have assignment operators. So assignment operator, it is used to assign a value to the variable. So in C language, single equals symbol is called assignment operator. Okay, so it is not equal sign here, it is called assignment operator. Okay, so why it is used? It is used to assign either constants or expressions or another variable to the given variable. Means we are going to store some value into the variable. Okay, so that value may be either a constant or it may be an expression. On evaluating expression, it results some value, or it may be content of another variable. So that's why you see how assignment operator is used, or assignment statement is used in C language. So we have this one, variable assigned a value constant terminated by semicolon. Means left side of assignment operator we have variable name, and right side you have constant. Say for example here, say x assigned a value 10 terminated by semicolon. So left side of assignment operator we have variable x, and right side constant value. So 10 is the constant value terminated by semicolon. Or we may use like this also, variable assigned a value expression semicolon. So here you can this one, sum assigned a value a plus b. Here what is variable? Sum is the variable. Assignment operator, right side expression we have a plus b is the expression. Means value or content of a is added with content of b. Whatever the result comes, no, that will be stored back into variable sum. So this is what this type of assignment statement or assignment operator. So next we may also have variable assigned a value another variable semicolon. See here you can observe here, y assigned a value x. So to the left side of assignment operator variable name, to the right side another variable name. Here x is another variable name. So semicolon is the terminator. So y assigned a value x semicolon. So is assignment statement. So these are all the assignment statements. So we write x assigned value 10. Here we have written x plus is equal to 10. It is called updating assignment operator. Plus is equal to is called updating assignment operator. So this is nothing but x plus is equal to 10 is nothing but x assigned a value x plus 10. So that is what literally its meaning. So x plus is equal to 10 is nothing but what? It is nothing but what? Instead of writing say x assigned a value x plus 10. So like this we write. So instead of writing like this, we may write like this also. Okay. So we may write like this. So both are same. Both are same. So these two are same. Okay, you can remember it. Both are same. We can write either this way or this way. Okay, terminated by of course semicolon. So this is called assignment operator. So next third type of operator is relational operator. So you know relational operator, as the name specifies, they represent the relationship between two items or two variables, we can say. Relation. So what is the relation? Say for example my age is greater than your age. Okay, or my age is equal to your age, or your age is less than my age, or my age is not equal to your age. So this is how we use relational operators. Okay, so greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, this is equal to, double equal sign if we use, it is called equal to. This is not equal to, exclamatory mark followed by is equal to is called not equal to. Okay, so that's why example, see, x value is greater than y, x is less than y, x is greater than or equal to y, x is less than or equal to y, x is equal to y, double equals you have to observe, not single equals. If you write single equal mark, it is called assignment operator. If you write double equal mark, it is a relational operator. So that you should be knowing. And x is not equal to y. Okay. So here this, each of these we call x is equal to y or x is less than y, they are called what? Relational expressions. Relational expression. This is operator. Greater than symbol is called operator, whereas x is greater than y is called relational expression. Okay, like that in previous example, this x plus 10 is called expression. X plus 10 is called expression, whereas plus is called operator, arithmetic operator. So that's why x plus 10 is called arithmetic expression. Arithmetic expression. Like that here x greater than y is called relational expression. X is not equal to y is called relational expression. So that's why relational operators are used to write relational expression. And the value of relational expression is evaluated to either true or false. Always it is evaluated to true or false. So relational expression value, final value is either true or false. This is important. Okay. So next we have logical operators. So logical operators, we know in previous this one we have discussed relational operators and relational expression. Suppose if two or more relational expressions have to be combined, we use a kind of operators, we call them as logical operators. So why logical operators are used? They are used to connect two relational expressions. You know what is a relational expression. So for example, x is greater than y is a relational expression, x is not equal to y is a relational expression. Like that, if two relational expressions should be combined by any operator, means that operator is a logical operator. Okay, and the result of that logical expression becomes either true or false. Once again, so that's why we'll say the result of a logical expression is also either true or false. So let us see what are the logical operators. So there are three logical operators in C language. One is called this one, logical not, exclamatory mark is called logical not, double ampersand symbol we write, it is called logical and double vertical bar if we write, we call it as logical or. So logical not, exclamatory symbol, logical and double ampersands, logical or, double vertical lines. Okay, say for example, say a is less than 0, a is not less than 0 now, because we have used not operator. This is logical not operator. So we read it as a is, say suppose if we don't have this, it is called a less than 0. Suppose if I write a exclamatory mark, it is called a is not equal to 0, a not equal to 0, a not equal to 0. So this is how we use not operator. And this one, this is one relational expression, a greater than 0 is one relational expression and a less than 0 is another relational expression. So two relational expressions, we have written them within parentheses. So two relational expressions are combined by one operator, and that operator we are going to call it as logical AND operator. So why logical operators are used? They are used to connect two relational operators. So here a greater than 0 may be true or false, a less than or equal to 100, here a greater than or equal to 0, true or false, or a less than or equal to 100, it may be true or false. Okay, so based on that we will get the final result. Okay, and here see, a less than 0 is one relational expression, a greater than 0 is another relational expression, and this is called logical operator. Vertical bar is called logical operator. So this is one relational expression, and a greater than 0 is another relational expression. So two relational expressions are combined by one operator, and that operator we call it as logical OR operator. Logical OR operator, and this expression is called logical expression. whose value may be either true or false, and this expression is called logical expression, whereas this expression is called a less than 0 is simply called relational expression. A greater than or equal to 0 is called relational expression. So two relational expressions can be combined by which operator? Logical operator. So how many logical operators are there? 3. Logical NOT, logical AND, and logical OR. So how these logical operators are evaluated with two operands, because they are binary operators, whereas logical NOT is a unary operator, whereas logical AND and logical OR are binary operators. Okay. So let us see how they are evaluated for the given inputs. So this is logical AND. Okay. How logical AND operation is performed? See here, A, B are inputs. A and B are inputs, and A ampersand B is called A and B is called output. Okay. So A, B are inputs. A, logical, and B are outputs. So here you can observe, you have to remember, if any one of the operands, A, B are two operands, if any one operand is 0 in logical AND, the output is 0. That's why I say 0 and 0 is 0. 0 and 1 is 0 because one of the operands is 0. So that's why 0. 1 and 0 is 0 because one of the operands is 0. So that's why result is 0. So here see, no operand is 0. Both operands are 1. That's why output is 1. A, logical, and B is 1. So this is how logical AND operation is performed. So any one of the operands is 0, output is 0. Any one of the operands is 0, output is 0. So this is what you have to remember. Okay. Whereas logical OR operation, in logical OR operation what happens is, here logical OR. So here when any one of the operands is 1, output is 1. Means A, B are two inputs, A and B are two inputs, and A vertical means A logical or B. So this A logical or B is the output. So here any one inputs is 1, output is 1. See here 0, 0, A is 0, B is 0. So that's why A or B is what? Both inputs are zeros, that's why output is 0. Here see you can observe A is 0, B is 1, so output is 1 because one of the inputs is 1, so output is 1, A or B is 1. Okay. Here 1 or 0 is 1 because one of the inputs is 1. 1 or 1 is 1 because one of any one input is 1. So that's why I'll say here in logical OR, if both inputs are 0, output is 0. In logical AND, if both inputs are 1, output is 1. Okay. So 1 is nothing but high, 0 is nothing but low. So that's why in logical AND, if both inputs are high, output is high. In logical OR, if both inputs are low, output is low. So then logical NOT operation, A is the input. Suppose A is the input, then not A is the output. So A is the input, then not A is the output. Okay. So A is 0. If A is equal to 0, input is 0, then output is not 0 means what? 1. Suppose input A is 1, so not A means what? 0. So this is a logical NOT operation. So that's why we have three logical operators: logical NOT, logical AND, and logical OR. Okay. So next we have bitwise operators. We have bitwise operators. Okay. So in bitwise operators, what happens? Operation is performed on individual bits. Operation is performed on individual bits. That's why they are called bitwise operators. Okay. So there are 6 bitwise operators like bitwise AND, bitwise OR, bitwise XOR, left shift operator, right shift operator, and ones complement operator. So these are 6 bitwise operators. Okay. So operation of bitwise AND and bitwise OR, see, this bitwise OR and bitwise AND. So these two operations, okay, they are similar to logical and logical OR. Means bitwise AND, in bitwise AND also, if both inputs are high, output is high. In bitwise OR, if both inputs are low, output is low. Means in bitwise OR, both inputs are 0, output is 0. In bitwise AND, both inputs are 1, output is 1. But here you can observe, In logical AND we have two vertical bars. In logical OR, in logical AND we have two ampersands, and in logical OR we have two vertical bars. Whereas in bitwise AND we have single ampersand. In bitwise OR we have only one vertical bar, single vertical bar. That is the difference. So that's why here we write A bitwise AND B. If I write double ampersand here, it is A logical and B. So, but we are discussing bitwise operators, that's why we have to use only single ampersand. That's why A bitwise AND. So, this is A bitwise OR, only single vertical bar. So, this is A bitwise XOR, exclusive OR. XOR means exclusive OR. So, we use caret symbol, we call it as caret symbol. A exclusive OR B. Then left shift operator is represented by two less than symbols. Two less than symbols. So we write A left shift by two positions, meaning is A left shift by two positions. This right shift operator is represented by two greater than symbols. Example, A right shift by two positions. That is what the meaning. One's complement is represented by tilde symbol. We call it as tilde symbol. Say this is one's complement of A. One's complement of A. So this is like NOT operator, logical NOT operator. See, we have already discussed now the operation of bitwise AND and bitwise OR is same as logical AND and logical OR. So same truth table, we call them as truth table. Same truth tables are used for bitwise AND and bitwise OR. Okay. So whereas for bitwise exclusive OR XOR we shall discuss. Okay. So here suppose if A and B are the inputs, it is also binary operator, and A caret B is the output. You have to remember this is the output. So here how the operation logical exclusive OR XOR operation is performed means if inputs are same, output is 0. That's what you have to remember. If inputs are same, both inputs are same, output is 0. Say for example A exclusive OR B, A exclusive OR B. Both inputs are same, so output is 0. Here A exclusive OR B, 1 exclusive OR 1. Both inputs are same, output is 0. Okay. So that's why when inputs are same, output is 0. 0 exclusive OR 0 is 0. 1 exclusive OR 1 is 0. Whereas 0 exclusive OR 1, here inputs are different, so output is 1. 1 exclusive OR, inputs are different, so output is obviously 1. So this is called bitwise XOR operation. So this is not logical XOR operation, it is called bitwise XOR operation. Bitwise XOR operation. XOR means exclusive OR operation. Okay. So logical and bitwise and bitwise OR, bitwise XOR, these are binary operators. Then let us discuss this left shift operator. So left shift operator is represented by two less than symbols. And it is used to shift the bits by specified number of positions to the left side. As the name specifies, left shift means move the bits to the left side by specified number of times. Say for example, suppose we have A is equal to 9. Consider that we have A is equal to 9. And suppose we have to perform A left shift by one position. So A is equal to 9 in 16-bit form we write like this. A is equal to 9. Say 16 bits we write. 9 is nothing but 4 bits. In 4 bits form we write 1010 8421 code. Okay. Our BCD representation of 9 is 1001. And because it is a 16-bit number, we have to write remaining 12 as zeros. So what is 9? 9 is nothing but 0 0 0 0 0 12 zeros followed by 1001. This is called a 9. So what is here left shift bit means you have to shift the position towards left. Okay. So you have to, this position has to be shifted towards left. See, one is by how many bits? One bit. So that's why this 1 comes here. So this 0 comes here. Sorry. This 0 comes here. This 0 comes here. So like that all are shifted. So this comes here. And this goes outside. So this 0 goes outside. Okay. So left shift. So when this 1 comes here, here we are left with blank. Okay, here we are left with blank. We are left with blank. So that's why blank spaces will be what is called filled up with 0. So this is called left shift, right? Suppose you have to shift it by 2 positions. So if you have to shift it by 2 positions, what we have to do? So this one will come to this position. This one. See, 1 is shifted by 2 bits. Okay, and this 0 is shifted to the left side by how many bits? Here it comes. And this 0 and this 0 will come to this position. So that's what it happens. And finally these 2 bits will become zeros. So that is what left shift by 2 positions. Okay. So this is what left shift operator is, nothing but what? 2 less than symbols. Okay. So when you left shift it by 1 position, so this is your number 101010 preceded by 11 zeros. So that will be equal to 1. It is not equal to 1. So it will be 8421 code, 16 plus 1. So this will be 17. This will be 17. Okay. This will be 17. That is the answer. Right. So in the same way, right shift operator. What is right shift operator? Is instead of moving left side, you have to move right side. Say for example, A right shift by 2 positions. Here it is taken. Consider say B is equal to 10. B value is taken as 10. So 10 is written in as 1010 preceded by 12 zeros, and B value should be right shifted by 2 positions. So 2 positions. Right shift means here what happens now? The values are shifted to the right side. Okay. So here right side means what happens? This one 2 bits, no? So that's why these 10 will go away, and this 0 comes to this position. So 2 positions. That's why it's 0 is shifted by 2 positions, 1, 2, and this 1 is shifted by 2 positions. See, this 0 is shifted by 2 positions. So like that. So you have this 0 is shifted by what? This 0 is shifted by 2 positions. So 2 positions means what? This one, right? So when we shift it left side, we are left with blank spaces. So blank spaces will be filled up by zeros. Okay. So this is what right shift by 2 positions. Okay. So what will be its value? 0010 is nothing but 2. So that's why B right shift 2 is 2. B right shift by 2 is what? How much it is? 2. Its value is 2. So here of course A, you have to left shift by 1. The result will be 17. Here the result will be 0010 means how much it is? 0010 is nothing but 2. Okay. That's why I'll say. That's why here we'll say. So what is the value here? What is the value here? A value will be 17. If you left shift by 1 position, when A is equal to 9, A left shift by 1, what is the answer? Answer is A is equal to 17. So like that here, when you right shift it, what is the value of B? The value of B is equal to 2. Value of B is equal to 2, because you know 0010 is nothing but if you apply 8421 code, so you just add the weights where ones are there, means it will be 2, right? So this is what left shift operator and right shift operator. Okay. So then ones complement. So ones complement means what? All zeros are changed to ones, ones are changed to zeros, represented by this symbol, tilde symbol, we call it as tilde symbol. So it is used to change the bits from 0 to 1 or from 1 to 0. So for example, consider C is equal to 10, we will say. C value is 10. And what is the complement of C? One's complement of C. Say C is equal to 10. How it is written? 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. Okay. So that is what C is equal to 10. So when it is nothing but 16 bits were taken, 12 zeros followed by 1 0 1 0. Now zeros are changed to ones, ones are changed to zeros. See, all zeros are changed to ones, and here 1 is changed to 0, 0 is changed to 1, 1 is changed to 0, 0 is changed to 1. So this will be ones complement operator, so represented by tilde symbol. So that's why these 6 are the bitwise operators, bitwise and ampersand, single ampersand, bitwise or single vertical bar, bitwise XOR, caret symbol, left shift operator, 2 less than symbols, right shift operator, 2 greater than symbols, and tilde is the ones complement operator. It's like not operator. Sorry, no, it's not not operator. It is zeros are changed to ones and ones are changed to zeros. Okay. So next we have conditional operator. Sixth one is conditional operator. So what is a conditional operator? We have already discussed based on the number of operands, unary operator, binary operator and ternary operator. The ternary operator itself is called conditional operator because it uses a condition. It uses a condition and there are 3 operands. That's why it is called conditional operator or ternary operator. Okay. So it operates on how many operands? Because it is ternary operators, we have 3 operands. Number of operands will be 3. Okay. So this conditional operator returns one value if the condition is true and returns another value if the condition is false. Why it is called conditional operator? Because we are going to use a condition, means a relational expression. We are going to use relational expression or logical expression. So whose value will be true or false. Okay. We know that relational expression value will be true or false. Our conditional expression value will be true or false. So based on that, whether it is true or false, we are going to use, we are going to evaluate either true part or false part. So for example, see the syntax is, see here, expression 1, question mark, expression 2, colon, we have expression 3. So here expression 1 is evaluated. If expression 1 is evaluated to true, so what happens here? If expression 1 is evaluated to true, then expression 2 value is copied into expression 2 is returned. Suppose expression 1 is evaluated to false, what happens? Then expression 3 value will be returned. Expression 3 value will be returned if it is false. Okay. So for example, we can see here x assigned a value. So x assigned a value a greater than 100. So a greater than 100 is the condition, and here 0 and 1 are the returning values. Suppose if a value is greater than 100, so what will be the value of x? X value will be 0. See, if it is true, a value is a greater than 100, expression value is true, then 0 is copied into x. Suppose if a greater than 100 is false, then we are going to return 1. That is, we are going to copy 1 value into x. 1 value into x. Okay. So this is what conditional operator. So if value of a is greater than 0, it is not if value of a is greater than 100, we can make it greater than 100, then 0 is copied into x. 0 is assigned to x. Otherwise 1 is assigned to x. So this is called conditional operator. So we can use conditional operator to find the largest of two numbers. Say, let us see how to find the conditional operator to find the largest of two numbers. Let us discuss it with one program. Okay. So here I have written a program. I have taken two inputs, a comma b. Declaration and preprocessor directs, everything is same. Here a, b and large, three variables I have taken of type integer. So clear screen. I have to read two inputs here. I am going to find out largest of two numbers. Largest of two numbers. So my given two numbers inputs are a and b. So I have declared a and b as the inputs and large is the output. All are of course integers. So you have to read, that is what scanf. Percentage d, percentage ampersand a, ampersand b. You have to read two inputs. So scanf should be preceded by printf. That's why printf enter value of a comma b. So now scanf statement allows you to type two inputs, first value for a, second value for b. Okay, once they are stored in a and b, we are using here conditional operator, ternary operator. See here, if a is greater than b, if a is greater than b means true. True means what will be stored into large? A value will be copied into large. If a greater than b is false, b value is copied into large. Say for example, we are going to take inputs. Suppose if we take inputs 10 and 5, a value is 10, b value is 5. Then what happens? A greater than b. Is a greater than b means 10. Is it greater than 5? Yes, 10 is greater than 5. Yes means what is copied into a? Into large. Value of a is copied into large. So what is value of a? 10. Okay. So large value will be 10. Right. Suppose if I consider a value is equal to 18 and b value is equal to 25. Okay. So what is a greater than b? A value is 18, b value is 25. So is a greater than b? Is 18 greater than 25? No. False. False means what value will be returned to large? B value is copied into large. What is b value? 25. So this is how large will hold the largest value and print the largest value here. Big is equal to percentage d. In place of percentage d, you can print the value of large. So if you run it, you will come to know it. What is the output? Center values of a and b. So I will give 10 and 5. 10 and 5. A value is 10, b value is 5. So what is large here? 10 is the large. So I say big is equal to 10. Means value of a is copied into large. That value we are printing here. Okay. Then once again let us run it. Enter values of a and b. Now I will give 18 and 25. 18 and 25. So what will be the value of big here, large here? 25. So big is equal to 25 is your output. So this is how we can use conditional operator to find largest of three numbers. Suppose I have to find out largest of two numbers. Suppose if I have to find out largest of three numbers, what I will do? I will take one more input called c. Okay, I will declare one more variable c. So I have to read one more variable c here, isn't it? So enter the values of a comma b comma c, right? Then I had to read three inputs using scanf statement. That's why I had to write comma one more ampersand c. Okay, because you have used one more input, so here you have to add one more percentage d format character. See, now number of format characters are 3, number of variables are 3. Type of format characters integer, type of variables ABC declared as integers, right? Now what we have to do? First let us consider largest of two numbers. So for largest of two numbers already we have discussed. This is the code. Largest and a value. If a is greater than b, question mark a colon b. Means if a is greater than b, large is equal to a. If a greater than b is false, large is equal to b, right? If a greater than b is true, large is equal to a. If a greater than b is false, large is equal to b. So in between two numbers, whichever may be the large, that is available in large now. That is available in large. Next, what we will do? We will compare that large with another input. What is our another input here? Our another input is c. Okay. Now we compare c whether it is greater than, already between a and b, which is large. Based on a greater than b symbol, either a may be large or b may be large, which is copied into large. So this we compare now c with large, because anyway c holds largest of a and b. So now you compare if c is greater than large. Possible answers yes or no. S means what? Question mark. S means what? What you have to return? C. First operand C. No means what? Colon. Second operand. What is your second operand? Large. So where you have to return this is C and large, you use one assignment operator. You use one assignment operator. So you have to use one variable. So use variable, same variable you use large. So that's why we write large assigned value. If C greater than large, question mark C means return C, copy C into large. If C greater than large is false, copy large into whatever the previous large. Okay, that will be the large. So copy it into large. Now just run this program, you will come to know. one error is there. Statement is missing with semicolon. Okay, here we are not terminated the sentence by semicolon, so that's why you write statement by semicolon, write semicolon. Okay, this is how you can use enter values of A, B, C. Now I will enter 10, 20, 30. So what is large? 30. Big is equal to percentage to large. It's not giving the output properly, so system is overloaded, so that's why it is not giving. So this is the actual logic of the program to find out largest of 3 numbers. Okay, so anyway, this is the main logic to find out largest of 3 numbers using conditional operator. First you have to find out, you have to compare 2 numbers, A greater than B. If it is true, A is copied into large. If A greater than B is false, B is copied into large. So this large anyway holds largest of A and B. Now you are left with one more operand C, that you have to compare with the large. If C is greater than large, true means what? C should be copied into this left side variable large. If this C greater than large is false, large value whatever it is there, that will be copied once again back into large. So finally large will hold the largest of the numbers, that will be printed. Because my system is overloaded, it is not showing the output correctly, but this is the logic. Okay, so you have to remember the logic. So next we have increment and decrement operators. Increment and decrement operators. So increment operator is used to increase by 1, increase the value of variable by 1, and decrement operator is used to decrease the value of variable by 1. Okay, so that's why C language provides 2 unusual and very powerful operators for incrementing and decrementing. They are known as increment and decrement operators. We use plus plus, means 2 plus symbols for increment operator and 2 minus minus symbols for decrement operator. So plus plus means increment by 1, minus minus means decrement by 1, subtract 1 from its operand. Plus plus means add 1 to its operand. Okay, so and increment and decrement operators we have 2 types, post increment and pre increment. Post increment and pre increment. So these are the 2 types, post and pre. Post increment operator and pre increment operator. Pre increment operator. So like that we have post decrement operator and pre decrement operator. So we have post decrement operator and pre decrement operator. So what is the meaning of post and pre? Post means comes next, pre means comes first. If the operator comes before the operand, we call it as pre increment or decrement. If the operator comes after the operand, we call it as a post increment or post decrement. Post means comes afterwards, operator comes afterwards. Pre means operator comes before. What is operator? Plus plus is increment operator, minus minus is decrement operator. So that's why we write the syntax and descriptions like this. You see, pre increment means what? Pre means comes first, so plus plus. Increment means plus plus. So pre increment means plus plus, then operand, that is variable. So this is nothing but variable assigned value, variable plus 1. Increment means adds 1. So we write it as variable assigned value, variable plus 1. Means value of I is incremented before assigning it to variable I. See here, value of variable, value of I or variable is incremented before assigning it to variable I. So we will come to know with examples. We'll discuss it afterwards. So post increment means what? Increment means plus plus. Post means what? It comes up after operand. So it's a variable plus plus. So we write it as variable assigned value, variable plus 1. Or we can also write it as variable plus is equal to 1. Same. So pre-decrement. Decrement means what? Minus minus. Pre means comes first before variable. That's why minus minus variable is called pre-decrement. Or it is nothing but variable assigned value, variable minus 1. Like post decrement operator means post means comes afterwards. Decrement means minus minus. So after variable minus minus comes. So which is nothing but variable assigned value, variable minus 1. or we write it as variable minus is equal to 1. Both are same. Okay. So we shall discuss this increment and decrement statements in for loop, while loop, like that. Okay. Say for I assigned value 0, I is less than 5, I plus plus we write. For I assigned value 10, I is greater than 0, I minus minus we write. Like this we use increment and decrement operators in for loops and while loops, like that. So let us discuss with an example. What is here? See, m assigned value 5, m assigned value 5. Okay. So here we have plus plus is our increment operator. So for clarity I'll give one space here. So plus plus we have, plus plus is nothing but increment operator. So y assigned a value, we have initialized m is equal to 5. What is the value of m? 5. So y assigned a value plus plus m. So plus plus m means pre-increment, means before using value of m, increment the value of m and use it. That is what the meaning. Okay, try to understand. Y assigned value plus plus m means before using value of m, no, that's why first increment and use. So when increment value of m, what will be value of m? 6. So plus plus means m value becomes 6, that will be copied into y. So y value will be 6, m value will be 6, like this. Okay. Suppose if we rewrite the above statement like m is equal to 5, we write y assigned a value m plus plus. So m plus plus means what here? Plus plus, of course, increment operator. But what type of increment operator it is? Whether post or pre, it comes after variable m, no? So that's why we call it as post increment operator. Here we call it as use and increment. Here it is increment and use. Here it is use the value of m and increment. So first use the value of m means what is the value of m? 5. Use it means first 5 assign it to y. So y becomes 5. M is also 5. Then plus plus means now m becomes 6. M becomes 6. Okay. So this is what called post increment and pre increment. So this is pre increment and this is post increment. So pre increment means what? Use, increment and use. Post increment means what? Use and increment. Okay. So we can discuss the same thing with an example if you want. Let us discuss it through an example. So this is all about some of the operators, and the remaining operators we shall discuss in my next video session. So thank you for watching this TV. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you.